Hey, good morning, and welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. We've got a lot of folks logging in today because this is a very, very important call. Do me a favor, check in the chat here. Let me know where you're watching from. We're going to jump right into the training today, talking a little bit about what real estate agents are dealing with, that mental mindset issue that so many of us have been struggling with lately. So, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. You might notice I'm in a different location today. You're actually coming to me, or I'm coming to you from my bedroom. Many of you know our house got hit by a tornado, lightly grazed by the tornado, $20,000 in damage or so. They're doing all kinds of work. So we're back at it. I'm never missing meeting with you guys and helping you in growing your real estate business. So that's going to be our topic for the day today. Now, I don't care how long you've been licensed as an agent. This market is freaking weird right now. How many of you can agree with that? Like, it's just very weird right now what we're dealing with. Not only interest rates, not only home prices, not only lack of consumer confidence, economic issues, political issues, lawsuits that we're dealing with, downward pressure on commissions, just so many issues that agents are dealing with. It starts to become very overwhelming. And what we found, of course, I'm dealing with so many agents. I talked to many agents. I've talked to 5 already today. Today's our platinum day. So I'm talking to all of our one-on-one coaching members and having meetings with them. And we really dive deep on what's working for them, what's not working, why are they not hitting their goals. And everybody's in kind of a mind funk right now. And I think for a lot of us, we feel like we're kind of stranded on an island. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Like, there's these pressure on commissions, and people think we're doing things that are unethical, and we're not. And we're hearing from other people like, oh yeah, you guys have been charging too much. Like, now all of a sudden we're the bad guys. We were actually made out to be the bad guys by the bad guys, right? So it starts to feel like too much. I mean, the reason we got in this business is to help other people, to help families, to do a great job for them, to help them with the biggest investment of their lives. And what we're finding now is it starts to take a toll on us as real estate agents. For an awful lot of us here, it puts you into a mind funk, into a, I hate to even use the word depression because I feel like a strong person. I'm sure you feel the same way. Like, I just don't feel right. I don't feel as confident as I usually do. What word can I use to not be depression, to not be negative thoughts? Because that's not who I am as a person. But damn, this is real. Like, this is what we're really dealing with right now. And I think an awful lot of agents could use a little love in this market right now because we're getting everything except that. We got the little heart emoji down here. Click the little heart emoji. Let's help each other out while we're on this freaking call anyway. But I really think that, we have to look at our original goal, why we got licensed in the first place, why we do what we do, and really get back to that heart-centered business mindset, making money. I know that's not your typical Greg Luther, where we're always talking about, how do we provide for our families and build a big retirement for ourselves and the wealth side of things. You got to have that emotional support too. You got to have the mental mindset that you love what you do. You feel like you're helping people. You never want to feel like you're gouging people. And if everybody tells you you're overpriced, you might start sitting around thinking, damn, I'm not making any money, but I wonder if I'm overpriced because everybody's telling me they got lawsuits saying that I am. So these are real issues that everybody's dealing with right now. And I don't think there's another coach in the industry that's talking about this because they're not out there in the trenches with the agents. They're not one-on-one. Like, I don't hire coaches to help me. I do this myself. I talk to agents. I know what they're going through right now. And there's a lot of agents that are in a weird spot in their mind, which all of a sudden, let me tell you about you, by the way. You ain't sleeping for shit lately. You have a hard time sleeping. It has nothing to do with insomnia. It's not I know what it is. It's the freaking market right now. Agents are exhausted. They don't feel real. They're hard to get out of bed in the morning. They even feel tired and sore. Why would you feel sore? Well, when I start looking stuff up and I see people that are having negative thoughts in their head, or they don't feel real confident, or even dealing with depression, they literally, their joints feel sore. It allows them to become sick. I was just sick 2 weeks ago. I'm sick again. That is happening because so many agents are struggling with their own mental mindset. It's not a matter of just getting motivation. You're not going to listen to Greg like I'm the most demotivational person you'll ever hear from. You're not going to get motivation from me today, but I'll show you how you can actually fix your problem. That's why they call me the no BS coach to begin with, because I can actually show you how to fix your problem. But I want you to think about how untired you are when you're waking up for something you're excited about, when you're doing something you've really been looking forward to. All of a sudden, you're not tired anymore. When you're doing something you love, you don't need to freaking sleep. How many of you can agree? You have 3 hours of sleep, you wake up, you do it again. You're loving what you do. So the real problem is not inability to sleep, lack of sleep, medical issue, insomnia, whatever. Like you've heard me say before, the medical issue is broke acidness. Write that down. Feel free to Google it. It's a medical term, broke acidness. Your broke ass ain't making enough money. You need to fix that side so you can feel good about yourself, because we are winners on the inside. And when the outside doesn't match up with that, it bothers us. There's an awful lot of people that play video games all day long and they sleep like a baby. Hell, they sleep till noon every day. You already know losers have no problem sleeping because they're okay with losing. When a winner is losing, it bothers them. They're mad all the time and don't know why. They don't sleep well. They have a hard time waking up. Their best time of sleeping is 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. because they're so daggone tired at that point. They can't drag themselves out of bed. That's what a lot of real estate agents are dealing with right now. And I think we got to, no matter how confident you try to be, I think we have to be honest about where we're at if our business isn't closing enough transactions to meet our financial needs right now. Because what happens is that starts to permeate your life. Your thought process changes when you're in the shower in the morning. When you're in the shower, you're thinking about other things. You're not thinking about that marketing campaign I'm putting out today. I got to get with the printer to make sure my every door direct mail is going out. What's going on with my Facebook ads? How am I doing? No, that's not what you're thinking. You're thinking the credit card bill is coming up due. I got to pay the mortgage soon. What am I pulling money from my retirement accounts? What am I going? My credit card balance is getting high. Those are the types of things you're thinking, and those are damaging to your business. The CEO has mind funk that's getting in their way. This is the real issue for a lot of agents, and it's the reason they're not taking action, because they're thinking about the wrong things. When you're in the shower planning your day, what are you thinking about? Is it profitable or is it fear-based? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Oh my, I got to deal with this now. Oh my God. If you are fear-based, you're never going to get where you need to be. If you're profit-based, if you're based on how am I going to prosper today? How am I going to help the families that I want to help? Convince them that now is the time to buy. All of the things we've been talking about on our inner circle coaching calls lately. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, you're closing lots of business and you're not having those problems. Because what happens is you start to believe, like, I'll give you an example. If you've ever been around somebody that's addicted to drugs, they literally believe, they would bet money that everybody does some kind of drugs. Everybody I know does drugs. No, that's the losers you know. If you start feeling like the market's down and nobody's buying, nobody's selling, no agents are closing anything. Here's proof right here. 49% of agents didn't even close one deal last year. If you start doing that, you'll start to believe that everybody's losing in this life. And that lets you off the hook. Meanwhile, there's agents closing lots and lots and lots of business. So you got to be real careful about what you say to yourself, because you are the only person that you believe wholeheartedly. You believe you more than anybody. So you got to be real careful how you're counseling yourself about what's going on in today's marketplace. So think about what your conversations are with yourself in the shower. Think about what your conversations are with yourself right before you go to sleep, when you're laying in bed and you're tossing and turning and you can't figure out what you're going to do. But should I even be in this business? Should I get out of the business for a while? Should I consider another job for a while? Maybe I need to switch brokerages. All the crap you're doing rather than fixing the real problem. You really think the brokerage is a freaking problem? Do you really think making $15,000 per transaction is not good, so you're going to go get an hourly job? Like, it doesn't make sense, but you start to get into that survival mode and you start shrinking into somebody that you are not. Can we all agree with that? We see it happen all the time. And no matter where you're at in the country, let me know in the chat here or down below. Let me know, what city and state are you selling real estate in? Let's take a look, see where everybody's from. We've got hundreds of people on. Where are you from? What areas do you sell real estate? And the next question is, do you agree this, even if you've been selling for 10 years or 20 years, is this the weirdest market you've ever seen? Real estate has never been this way. I don't care if you've been doing it 30 years and you've sold 400 homes a year. You've never seen anything as perplexing as this. I mean, it's just a very, very unique market. So what we have to do today is get real about our mindset. If you stress about things, it only makes them worse, right? My father is a perfect example of that. All he does is worry all the time. Now, when things are out of order, you can either stress about them. Oh my gosh, I sure hope this bad doesn't happen. Oh, I really hope this doesn't fall apart on me. You can keep doing that, or you can attack those things that stress you. If you attack those things that stress you, they'll go away. If you worry about them, that does absolutely, like I've told my dad before, why don't you try worrying twice as much as you are? Like, you've bit some of your fingernails off, you're pacing around the house. Try to worry twice as much and see if that helps. That doesn't do anything. That makes you fear-based. That makes you submissive. I need to be dominant. I need to attack these issues. So you have to kind of think through, am I going to stress about these things, or am I going to attack what the real issue is? I'll guarantee you, you fly me out to you today, you can't do that now. It's way too expensive to do. It wouldn't even make sense if you got 2 closings. But I'll guarantee you we're sitting with a seller today if I show up in your town. There ain't going to be no, oh, the market's tough right now. We're taking a listing today because I know how to attack what the problem is. I know how to go after what we need to do and do what it takes to find that motivated prospect that's truly ready, that can sell their home at market value, that we can sell it very quickly, that will do what they're supposed to do to get the home ready to sell. That is not difficult to do, but I decide I'm going to win. I'm never going to allow failure. I don't allow it. I have a massive fear of poverty, which means I'm running from that thing in an uncontrollable fear. You remember how afraid you were running down the hallway in the dark when you were a kid? You really thought that thing was going to get you? That's poverty, because I've been there. I know what it's like. I'm running from that. I'm so far away from that. I don't know that I could ever get there. If I stopped right now, I'd never go broke. But every day, I'm trying to become more fearful of poverty, which means I take action. I don't step back. I don't, oh my gosh, what if it doesn't work? Well, if it doesn't work, you won't make money. But if you don't take action, you're definitely not making money, right? You got to make the call. You got to send the email. You got to send out the marketing. You got to do what you can, because if you don't take action, it's guaranteed you are going to fail. You are getting out of the business because you folded. So if you allow stress and anxiety in, it doesn't give you a clear roadmap. You don't know what you need to do every day. If we have a marketing agenda that makes sense, and we'll talk a little bit about that, if we have a marketing agenda that makes sense for you, you're not going to have those issues. In most cases, it's actually frustration and a lack of direction that gives you this issue, right? What you're struggling with is inactivity. Write that down. Inactivity is what you're struggling with as a real estate. Don't give me some crap about the market, like it's a bad time to buy. The greatest time in the world to buy is if interest rates are 15%, because nobody else qualifies. You can actually get a home. You're not going to be in multiple offers. Well, we can't get it to 15%, because, by the way, buying a house and getting a mortgage are 2 separate things. I would buy a house when a lot of people can't buy, and then redo that mortgage, refinance, whenever the time comes. You know what would be stupid? Thinking you got a great deal at a 4% mortgage, but you paid $100,000 over asking price. You didn't get it at 4%. You paid 4% plus $100,000. You did not get a good deal. You need to get a good deal on a house and then continuously change your mortgage as often as needed. Is this how you're educating your consumers? But if you start to, I can't buy anything because I can't make money as an agent because rates are so high. Are you crazy? You should be making a fortune if you're going about this the right way. So the coaching call we had last week, or 2 weeks ago, the one we're having this afternoon, for those of you that are Inner Circle coaching members, these are the types of things you need to be talking about with them so you can get the closings you need, because that's the only motivation that really works. The only thing that works is getting business. No motivational coach. Like, what are you going to do? Listen to Tony Robbins and then feel better about yourself? Go take money to the bank and then try to frown. Try to frown with $100,000 sitting in your bank account. You can't do it. You'd be like, oh, it's not really that bad. You could tear up $100 bills stupidly and it wouldn't bother you because you fixed the real problem. You don't have a problem with expenses. You have a problem with income. Let me give it to you again. You don't have a problem with expenses. You have a problem with income. That's what will fix your issue. But the reason you are not sleeping well has nothing to do with you, your body, your weight, your insomnia, your medical, nothing. It has to do with broke acidness. It has to do with your outer game is not matching your inner game. You are a winner. So I want you to be excited that you're not sleeping well at night, because it means you refuse to fail. It bothers you. You're uneasy that you're not doing well. That means you're a winner. It's just you're not winning right now. So if you get that mindset and you realize that, I'm telling you, there are people, I always use the example video games because that means they're not learning about anything, right? They want to learn how to play a video game instead of playing the real game of life. Those people can easily sleep till noon. They got nothing bothering. They can sleep 12 hours and it's not enough. A loser is a loser. And by the way, there's only winners and losers in every game in this world, including the game called life. So I want you to embrace the fact that you're uneasy, you're stressed, you're not sleeping well, you're worried about things. That means you're supposed to be winning right now, and you know you're better than this. That pain is there to make you make that shift. So it's a good thing. I don't want you to get down on yourself. It's truly a good thing. But the fact is, right now, we feel like there's a target on our back. How many of you feel that way? Let me know in the chat here, or click the little heart button there. How many of you agree it feels like there's a target on our back? Like we're the bad ones that made home values go up. Realtors are pushing up home prices. How the hell? I'm begging people to reduce their price. What are you talking about? But the general, you guys charge too much. It's on the seller's side. The seller's paying. Like, how many of you agree this is really why we're having those issues? It's out that the outside forces have changed for the pressure that it's putting on us as real estate agents. Frankly, there's nobody in a bigger spotlight. I feel like a damn politician right now. Everybody's after me. Everybody thinks I'm doing stuff wrong. And I swear I'm trying to do the right thing for my family and for my clients. How many of you feel that way? Why is nobody talking about this? And this is the number one problem for real estate agents right now. We have never been under this much pressure. We've never, in a damn grocery store, if you just say I'm a real estate agent, they start right into, oh, you guys charge too much. The sellers had to pay. That was unethical. They didn't know. All of that crap. That's what our real issue is here. So when you've got somebody like me that's in the trenches, that's meeting with agents, that's trying to find out what the real problem is, I don't like talking about negative. I'm a positive person. I always think everybody can win or whatever, but sometimes somebody's got to shake the shit out of you. Like, we got to get serious here. We got to step up to building what we're trying to build for ourselves. But we got to be honest that bad results are discouraging. If you do something and it doesn't work, it becomes discouraging. It really does. I mean, you go back to old school movies where they get a new real estate agent. It's like, I'm going to call my buddy and say, hey, I'm sending a new agent out. Be kind of tough on him, but give him the listing. Because if he gets that win, he's going to think he's cut out for real estate. But if he goes out on that first deal and doesn't get it, he's going to think maybe I'm not cut out for real estate. Because we put too much emphasis on our losses. We don't put enough emphasis on our wins. So if you've been losing, or you sent a mailer out, or you ran some Facebook ads, or you did whatever, maybe you ran a video and somebody commented about your nose, we're all insecure about that stuff. And you finally got the gumption to run a video. And then somebody asked if you could smoke a cigarette in the shower and it wouldn't get wet, because they've never seen a nose that's big. They say they wanted to know if they can check in with you if they ever want to know what The Rock is cooking. That becomes disheartening. It becomes discouraging to where you don't want to move forward. You don't want to spend more money. You don't want to run more postcards. You don't want to run those Facebook ads. So when you realize that you're supposed to lose, nobody missed more shots. Like, you want me to tell you who the worst NBA player in basketball history is? If you go by who missed the most shots, Kobe Bryant is the worst. Wait a minute. They call him one of the greatest. If you go by who had the most strikeouts in baseball, Reggie Jackson. But they actually called Reggie Jackson Mr. October because he showed up when it's time to show up. When everybody else chokes, he shows up. You know what you need to do? You might need to become Mr. October. It might be time for you to knock it out of the park when you've had a lot of strikeouts. And it might be time for you to step up and show that you don't choke. Because right now, there's an awful lot of real estate agents that are choking under pressure, that are folding, that are ruining their family, that are going to lose their marriage, that are going to lose their retirement, their future because of this, not because of that, because of this. So it might be time for you to step up to do what you're supposed to do. But let's be honest about this. With the commission structure, people saying we're overpaid, the lawsuits we're dealing with, homeowners appreciate you less than they ever did before. Clients are not going to appreciate you the way that they did before. These are all real issues. But the fact is, you've got to get the right mindset, but I think positive thinking is bullshit. I don't want positive think. That's the dumbest thing you can do. Oh, come on, Greg, you got to be more What are you talking about? If somebody was just diagnosed with cancer and they're going to die in 3 months, it doesn't matter if you stand in the doorway saying, "Oh, it's going to be okay." You're an idiot if you think it's going to be okay. Why would you tell them it's going to be okay? It's not going to be okay. Well, we got to think positive. Maybe it won't happen. That's absolutely asinine. It's a horrible, horrible way to go. Positive thinking is fake. Now, if and you may have heard me say this before, if a man slips off of the balcony of a 30-story building, when he's halfway to the sidewalk and you scream, hey, how are you doing? Pretty good so far. It doesn't matter how positive he is, he's going to hit the sidewalk. So I don't think positive thinking is going to help if you've slipped off the 30-story building. Doesn't matter what you say. Thinking positively is not going to help. Now, with that in mind, you have impending doom. You don't need positive thinking or negative thinking. You need accurate thinking, which means it's not swayed one way or the other. I want you guys to write that down. Accurate thinking. It's not positive. Oh, come on. Think that it's better than it really is. It's not negative. Oh, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be worse than it really. No, I just want to be accurate. This is what I've got to deal with right now. Let me take action accordingly. That's what a boss is going to do. That's what Mr. October is going to do. That's what someone that doesn't choke is going to do. They're going to have accurate thinking. So if you have that, you're going to do far better. Now, keep in mind, cynicism is unhealthy. Optimism is helpful and desirable, but unwarranted optimism is stupidity. So let me give you that again. Cynicism is unhealthy. You don't want to be cynical about everything. You don't want to be negative about everything. You don't want to always, this market is horrible. I got to leave the business. I'm thinking about getting into another job. I'm doing all that crap. Optimism is helpful and desirable, but unwarranted optimism is absolute stupidity, which means if you are not taking action for your business, if you're not sending out any marketing right now, if you're sitting at home with nothing going on in your business and you're saying, well, I really think things will get better. I think the inflation report today was pretty good. And maybe if they change rates in June, that will affect mortgage rates in July or August. And then, heck, you never know. I might have a closing by Halloween. What are you talking about? Get to work. Unwarranted optimism, it's complete stupidity. Complete stupidity. So if you are optimistic with no evidence that you should be, you're acting stupidly. If you're optimistic with a game plan, with a marketing campaign, with what you need to do every day, with the proper coaching, the proper implementation, you wake up in the morning, you're excited about what you're doing, you actually do it, and then you get rewarded for that. Now that optimism is helpful. But it's not unwarranted optimism. There's a reason to believe I'm fixing my situation. Does that make sense? So I want you to really think through how you're going about your day. A lot of people will say, smile whether you feel like it or not. I think it's horrible. I say, get a reason to smile and then you'll feel like it. It'll be real. It won't be that forced, uncomfortable smile you see in photos sometimes. It'll be for real. That's where you need to go with your business, because nothing's going to make you feel better. Nothing's going to make you feel more confident than actually closing deals. But you got to stand up. You got to know that we need to call in a pinch hitter, and this is going to be the Kirk Gibson moment. If you've never seen it, by the way, look it up. Kirk Gibson World Series. Unbelievable. I don't even watch sports, but that's something I watch 3-4 times a year, that 10-second clip. You got to be the one that you hobble up there, broken, injured, no way you'll be able to run around the bases, and knock it out of the park so you can walk around the bases. You have to know how to hit a grand slam. And with all the injuries you have, with the mental mindset you have, with the I don't have enough money right now, with everything else, you have to be the one to step up to the plate right now and to make that happen. You know, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever heard, and I've heard Warren Buffett say it several times. One of my mentors, Dan Kennedy, says it all the time. If at any time you don't know what to do, just look at what the majority is doing and do the opposite. I mean, look at our marketing. Look at what we do with Greg Luther Inner Circle, right? If you look at when you go to gregluthercoaching.com and you click on anything that I have, you see it's the opposite of what everybody else is doing. Well, right now is a good time for you to look at what all the other agents are doing and to be the opposite. To wake up at 5:30 in the freaking morning because you haven't done it forever, because you've got this awesome game plan that you're putting together, and you're going to launch this thing and you're going to fix your situation, and you get to hit the home run. So March and April look damn good to you, because I'm telling you right now, if you struggled last year in 2023 and you didn't close as much as you wanted to, and there was an adjustment and interest rates went way up, and that means business went down and people didn't want to move and everybody's saying homes are overpriced and all that, April 15th is coming. It's coming. You got to pay. You ain't got it. It might be time for you to get serious. It might be time for you to hit a home run. That's what you need to do right now to make this happen, to get out of the situation. The good news for you, most of your competition is going to fold. Most means more than 50. Most of your competition is going to fold. They already have. Some have just kept their license. We've literally seen the stats. 51% of agents. So I want you to kind of look at where you're going with your business and what you need to do to have the motivation, to have the systems, to have the processes, to have the marketing campaigns that make sense. You don't need motivation. Don't be signing up for my stuff because you want motivated. I'm going to slap you around. It ain't going to be happy. You're going to be happy when you're sending me the emails I've received already this morning about how many closings they've had, how well they're doing, the things they're buying for their spouse just because. It's the greatest feeling in the world. So I want you to get good at that. You got to start thinking about the niches that you're working. A lot of you have talked to me about the baby boomers that are coming up now. You know, the vast majority of them are getting ready to make that final downsizing. They're selling that big house that they've been sitting on for a while, and they're downsizing. That population is 300% bigger than any other generation, and all of them are getting ready to downsize. Are you working that silver tsunami that's coming right now? Like, look it up. You will see. The most recent stat I saw showed that 9 million of their homes will be sold. 9 million homeowners will be selling their home. You won't have an issue with inventory if you get this part right. We're doing that training I was talking about coming up on the 20th. We're doing that training. If you go to gregsmonthlytraining.com, I think it is. If you go there, gregsmonthlytraining.com, you'll be able to register. It's free. You'll be able to register for that and learn a little bit about working those boomers. If you're over 38, 40 years old, if we're past that midlife area, we're going to be able to work with them, and they'll want to work with us, and we understand them enough that it makes sense. Anybody's welcome to attend, but I know who's going to get the highest results with them. When you were 18 years old, you wanted to work with first-time buyers. Now we got to look at who can we relate with the most, the type of training we're going to cover on that, the things that I've been putting together for this, I think you'll find very helpful. So you can check that out as well. But this is something that, you've got to fix your situation. You have to get your business to a much, much better position. This is one of the ways to do that. I mean, let me ask you this. I provide tons of free content all over YouTube. We have 800 and some videos now. We're shooting for 1,000 training videos. Are you following this page? Have you rang the bell, turn on notifications? Are you getting all of the content you need? Because you can implement this stuff and you can actually be successful. You are going to be a product of your environment. If you turn on that freaking news or you're watching social media, everything is bad about realtors. You better quit watching that. Let's stop worrying about what's going on in the White House. Let's start worrying about what's going on in your house. That's how we're going to make you successful. You can change your own mini environment. If we end up having a recession, what if you just choose not to participate? Because that's what all successful people, they make all of their money during those bad times. That's what successful people are going to do. What if you choose not to participate? It's a choice. It's a mindset on how you're going to make that happen. So I want to help everybody that I can. We've got a lot coming up for you here with our upcoming calls as well. Make sure you are following the channel here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments here, by the way. Is this helpful for you? Do you want more on this? Do you need a weekly kind of pep talk with action plans? Let me know in the comments here. What are your thoughts about this? And frankly, you may even want to share this with another agent as well. I think right now is a good time for us to be leaning on each other. I really think it's a good time for us to kind of create a community where we're supporting each other because, frankly, it's us against the world right now. Look at what's going on out there. Those of you that are going to the coaching retreat coming up, we've got our Inner Circle coaching retreat coming up in June 4th and 5th in Orlando. We do that every year. That is where you surround yourself with like-minded, positive thinking people, but they have the action plans that it makes sense to be positive thinking, right? Not to be unwarranted optimism. So I think you'll find if we get this part right and you have the action plan you need each day, which our coaching call today, you're going to get that. We've got a coaching call later this afternoon for all of you that are coaching members with us here. You'll get exactly what you need to close the business that you need to close. But I want you to be aware when you don't have those confident thoughts that you need to have. You can take the most confident person in the world and knock them down a couple of notches. They won't perform the same way. You got to build their confidence. The same is true for you. So it's very important we get that part right, because I can give you all the tools and training and examples that you need. If you're not implementing them because you don't have confidence in what you're doing, you're not going to deploy it the right way. So we have to fix that side of what you're doing. So it's important to support each other. It's important to be positive with agents that might need that little pep talk to at least give them the opportunity to take action for themselves. So when you see me on Facebook or YouTube or other agents here, reply to their comment, help them start talking to each other. You're going to see that we will get through this. I do believe that there will be a big turnaround here. We're all making money. If you're doing the right stuff, you're making money. It's just not hand over fist COVID money like so many of us were doing. It's surprising to me when an agent goes from 400 closings a year down to 350, they're freaking out. What I'm worried about is the agents that we're doing 2 a month that go down to 1 or 0. Those are the ones that are really, really, I'm worried about it. And I want to help them in every way that I can. So you'll be hearing a lot about that. And I'm giving you the systems as well that you need. If for someone, and I should have, I'm not positive on this. We're new to YouTube Live. You should see some comments below, or if you read what's it called? Video description below, you should see a link to getfastclosings.com. If for some reason you're not a member with us, you're welcome to check that out. Getfastclosings.com. That'll show you some pretty good training, but also there will be a sales pitch there on how we can actually get you in coaching and help you with growing your business. And you will work with me, nobody else. You'll work with me to make that happen. We have a group call today. So hopefully this was helpful for all of you. I see a lot of great comments in the chat here. That certainly helps me to give me the content that you're looking for, so I can give you everything you need and get you out there truly making money. But listen, motivation is not going to help you. Being on this call is not going to help you. Get off the call and go do something to hit a home run today. You have to make that happen. Doesn't matter who you sign up for. You got to do the work. You got to swing the bat. So go do something today that's scary, that's risky, that maybe I don't want to do, but will make me some money. Go out there and hustle. Let me know what I can do to help you. I'm Greg Luther. Thanks for joining on today's morning meeting. I'll see you on next week's morning meeting as well. As long as you're following the channel, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye for now.